Hi, it's Sari. Okay, so on a Tuesday lately, I've been answering a couple of questions, but tonight I am not entirely with it. If I'm honest with you, head's a bit all over the place. So I am not going to answer questions. I am just going to talk to you for 5 minutes on panic attacks because it's something that came up within work today. It's something that comes up a lot. It seems to be the thing that most people fear when they're anxious. So I'm just going to share a few things about it with you in the hope that it will help. Right, hang on. Sorry, my internet's really slow. Say hi if you're there so I can see who's there. Okay, I am just going to share this video somewhere. Say hi. So I am in a second when I manage to get this blooming working. I am going to talk to you about panic attacks. Hi. Hi. Sorry, it's just my internet on this other thing where I'm trying to share it is ridiculously slow. So just give me a moment. So yeah, lots of people, the word panic attack is bandied around quite a lot and talked about quite a bit, but I'm not so sure people really fully understand what is going on with a panic attack. And I mean, I didn't for a long time, to be honest, even though I had had them. Hi, Monique. Even though I'd had them. Hi, Gail. I love your enthusiasm, Gail. I do. I love it. I appreciate it. Hi, Paris. Oh, why is it not letting me do this? Right. Sorry about this. I'm trying to share it, but never mind. I might not be able to. I'll just see if this comes on. So, and feel free if any of you want to share it. I think you'd be surprised at how many people come across these videos that really, really help them, where they wouldn't find this information anywhere else, or maybe without going to see a therapist or something. And, you know, that's a big part of why I do this. So do feel free to share it. So, okay, so as I said, my brain is a little bit fried today, which is why I'm not kind of just responding to questions because I can't think straight. But I do want to share a couple of things with you. So, firstly, panic attack. A lot of you will have heard about fight or flight. And a panic attack really is when our body has gone into fight or flight, but it's kind of really misused because, so you know, if people have talked to you before about fight or flight, when your body becomes pumped with adrenaline and you get ready to either run away from danger or to fight with everything you've got, whatever it is you're faced with. So I know people will talk about historically as if you're faced with a lion or a tiger, then your body goes into fight or flight in order to either run away or fight that tiger. Well, that's what's happening for people who are, thank you, Gail, who are having a panic attack. But more often than not, they're not faced with a tiger. They are faced with the potential of something that they believe they're going to be in danger, that is going to go wrong for them, that is going to be trouble for them, that's going to be a problem for them, but it hasn't actually happened as yet. And again, you know, actually you could argue that if you were faced in front of a tiger, there's still no reason to panic because that tiger may just turn around and walk away. We don't know. But the chances are you'd be thinking, oh my God, the tiger's going to get me. It's going to kill me. And you'd go into fight or flight. So one of the things that people often find useful to know about panic attacks is that when the adrenaline is pumped into your body and you then get those symptoms, so you might get racing heartbeat, you might get sweaty palms, you might feel hot, you might feel sick, you might have butterflies in your stomach, lots of things that feel really uncomfortable. And what happens is people then panic about those symptoms. And so actually when adrenaline goes into your body, it actually doesn't last for that long. It actually goes through our system and disappears literally within minutes. But people, I know I certainly did in the past, I would suffer with that feeling of intense panic and fight or flight. That could last for days with me. And so I just believed it was something that happened to me and there wasn't much I could do about it. And it just happened. And it was almost like I either had to have medication to get rid of it or I just had to wait until whatever had happened stopped happening. But what I didn't realise in the past is that I was massively interfering with the natural process of my body through my overthinking. So I might get startled, I might get scared, and I might worry. And when I'm worrying or I'm thinking about those things, then I am starting to produce adrenaline, and then I have those symptoms. Now, once they're there, they're there. Your body is doing exactly what you are telling it to do. And it will settle, as I say, within minutes. However, if you then start to worry about the fact that your heart is racing, I told you I wasn't with it tonight, that your heart is racing, that you're, you feel a bit shaky, all of those things, you then start to worry about that. It's almost like you are giving yourself another shot of adrenaline. And so the cycle continues. And I think often what's missing for people in terms of panic attacks is understanding that that's what's happening and it's completely safe and harmless. It might not feel nice, but it's safe. It's actually a good sign that your body absolutely does what you're telling it to and is working exactly how it should. And I talk about this in my manual, where it's kind of like you're telling your brain and your body that you need to get prepared for danger. And so then it's preparing you, and then you're desperately trying to get away from that sensation or feeling because you don't like it. So it's like me saying, I've used a silly example, but saying to my daughter, would you go and make me a cup of tea, sweetie? She'd go and make me a cup of tea and bring it back, and I'll say to her, what have you made me that for? I don't want it anymore. I don't like it. I've decided I don't like tea anymore. Why would you bring me that cup of tea? I wish you'd just go away with it. Like, as if you'd do that. But that's what we're doing with ourselves in a panic attack. Our body is producing the hormones that's needed when we are telling ourselves that actually I'm in some sort of danger, and then we're getting cross with ourselves because it's working exactly as it should, when actually it's the time where we should be compassionate with ourselves and go, all right, blow me neck, what I've done is I've triggered my own internal alarm system. Bloody hell, wish I hadn't done that. It's done now. It's going to settle quickly. It's going to settle soon. Don't interfere with it. Allow it. I get that it doesn't feel that nice, but it's not harmful. It's not harmful. And it will pass really quickly unless you mess with it. Why is it like this? And why am I feeling like this? And I hate panic attacks. And what if I have another one and I never want to have one again? It's the resistance and the fighting against what the natural system does and does really well. And we need it for survival. It's fighting against that. And we'll never ever win, because the body is made up for survival for reasons. So Rachel, it seems I've had a 3-hour attack, but I'm thinking now more one after the other, another. Is that correct? Yeah. There's no such thing as a 3-hour panic attack. You might be having 300 panic attacks in the space of an hour, but what you're doing is your adrenaline will be there and it's high, and then it starts to settle, but you're not liking the symptoms. You want them to go. And it's interesting because actually, let's think of an example. There's situations where people like that feeling of adrenaline. So I think I might have mentioned before, my brother used to do cage fighting, and he used to describe that feeling when you get in that ring and that adrenaline. He just absolutely loved it. Now, to me, it would be the worst thing in the world. It would be so uncomfortable and not something I would want to do. So I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I do like roller coasters, though, to be fair, but I'm not someone that would go after extreme sports, because as soon as I get any of those symptoms of my heart speed racing and all that stuff, I go, don't like that. Not so much anymore, but I used to. So I would avoid that sort of stuff. But actually, some people absolutely love those feelings. But because you've decided you don't like them, you do everything to try and get away from it. But sometimes that trying to get away from it is creating more thought, and then it's like you are imaginarily, that's not a word, is it? But then it's like you are then pumping yourself with more adrenaline, and that's why it's continuing. But the one thing I want you to remember, the next time you're feeling in a panic and overwhelmed, whatever that looks like for you, that it's not unsafe. I know it doesn't feel nice, but it's not unsafe. So when you're thinking that it's never going to stop and it's really uncomfortable and what's going wrong with you, part of the reason I wanted to do this video and why I was saying, feel free to share it, because I think that if more of us knew that when we're in that severe overwhelm and really extreme feelings of panic, I think if we had some sort of guarantee from somebody that we are not at any harm, and it's just our system responding in the way that it's built to respond, I think it would make it easier. So I'm here to give you that reassurance now. In that, as horrible or as uncomfortable as it might feel at times, it's not unsafe. It's exactly what's meant to happen. Exactly what's meant to happen. But it's just that we kind of start to question it. I find when I get them, I have quite a lot on my mind. Is that a trigger? It's the only thing that creates feelings of panic is lots of overthinking. So yeah, spot on. And if you just allow those feelings, they're like feelings like an energy. They come through us. They don't stay around. We can keep recycling them and keep reusing them and keep kind of bringing it back in through our thinking. But they're not permanent. They come and they go. They just flow through us. But again, we don't necessarily like that. Some people do, as I say. Some people crave that feeling of an adrenaline boost. But it's certainly something that I never liked. But the difference now is if I felt really severe panic, I wouldn't like it still. I don't think I'll ever fall in love with the feelings of panic, but I'm certainly not scared of it anymore because I understand more now that actually it's exactly how things are supposed to be. My system is working, and I know that as long as I fill my brain with lots of thoughts about what if, then my body's going to produce adrenaline, and I'm going to feel that. I'm going to feel that physiologically in my body. So yeah, Oliver, hi there. Sorry, I had a panic attack at 5 a.m. the other morning because I had a nightmare that me and my girlfriend got arrested in London, then she broke up with me. It took me ages to calm down. Yeah, I mean, we can have anxious thinking in our sleep just as easily. It's exactly the same thing. But I guess sometimes we kind of let dreams go a little bit easier sometimes with, they're not real, they're just dreams. Yet somehow in the day we believe that our thoughts are way more valid, and actually they're not. They're still just random thoughts that we either bring to life or we don't. All right, good. It's amazing. How do you know all this? Just through learning and exploring. I am a trained psychotherapist. I have done lots of stuff in this area, but you know what? What I've realised, again, over the years is that it's the simple things. It's understanding the simplicity, actually, of how we work that really makes the difference. We don't need to overcomplicate it. So again, a panic attack is a very simple process that's going on. We're thinking, we're overthinking, we are sending messages to the lizard part of our brain, which is, again, like explained in the manual, go into our brain. Then that's the same part of the brain that then regulates heart rate, temperature, all of that stuff. It's just a very natural process, and it's not really rocket science. There'll be people out there that know every part of the brain, like the prefrontal cortex, all of that stuff. I don't need to know. All I need to know is kind of what's happening so that in those moments of panic, I have some level of reassurance to know that I'm okay. And so that's, again, what I pass on. It's not complicated. It's not really detailed. We don't need that. We just need to really know sometimes that, the reason I feel like that is because I was wondering and thinking about all the what ifs and I was completely lost in a thought storm. That's all we need to know. So what else was I going to say about panic? Can't remember. So I hope that helps. As I say, yeah, please do share it if it's helpful for you. I can probably guarantee it'll be helpful for others. Not everybody reaches out and asks for help. I will pop the link to my website in the comments if anyone wants to have a look at any other stuff. I've got some other things that videos and things. I've got stuff on YouTube, but I will keep popping up. As I say, every Tuesday. I can only do it one day because I have private coaching calls for the rest of the time, and then lots of other stuff like mum stuff that I have to do. So I hope that helps, and I will catch up with you all very, very soon. Take care.